Oh, look at this sweet boy. Hey, buddy, can I pet your dog?
Sure.
What's their name?
This is Bellamy.
How old is he?
He's 11.
Oh, he just looks like a puppy, though.
He's a forever puppy.
He's incredible. I'm so sorry. What's your name?
Miranda.
And the Grammy goes to...
The Grammy goes to...
And the Grammy goes to...
For Female Vocalist of the Year.
Top female vocalist is... Miranda Lambert.
I wanted to tell you about Mut Nation Foundation. My goal is to get as many dogs adopted from shelters as possible, get more volunteers engaging in their local communities, and just raising awareness for don't shop, adopt.
Do you mind if I join you on your walk?
Sure. Have you ever had like a church bell underneath your interviews? I mean, it's the first time for everything. It is Nashville,
yeah.
It's Music City.
That's true, that's true. It sounds like it's over.
We did it.
Okay.
We did it.
No!
It's Music City, guys. There's music everywhere all the time. We did it.
All right. Everybody. So what is Bellamy? He looks like a miniature golden retriever.
Well, I don't know. He's a rescue, I know that. I think he's called a comfort retriever. That's what I've Googled and found that he looks the closest, which is like...
On brand.
Yeah. It's like a smaller golden retriever that they're like bred for therapy dogs, which I'm his therapy human, so that didn't really work out for him.
And he's a rescue?
He's a rescue, yeah.
What's his story?
I got him at, I went to visit a shelter in Florida in West Palm Beach when I was playing a show.
Okay.
And this little girl, her parents kind of fund and run the shelter, and she put out billboards and YouTube videos inviting me to the shelter when I played the show. And we went, of course, and they had these things there it's called Big Dog Ranch. It's a really cool shelter.
Yeah.
It's really great. And they had these things called puppy pods, which were like quarantine for new intake puppies, which AKA heaven. And I sat down and, I mean, like just in pure joy, and this little buddy just sat in my lap, and I already had 6 dogs at the time. And I was like, well, what's one more bowl? So I named him Bellamy because the Bellamy brothers are a country band I love.
Okay.
And they are from Florida. So
Makes
that's where he got his name. Yep.
And how many animals do you currently have?
Well, I've got 2 dogs left. You know, that's part of the joy and the sadness of being a rescue mom. And I did overdo it. I had 9 dogs when my husband and I met. So it's been a journey, but it's worth it. You gotta love big, but you gotta feel pain big, you know. But I have 2 dogs left. Him and his little sister Cher. She's a Chihuahua. She's 14. And she would have come, but she's blind, so I have to carry her. Yeah. And then I have 6 horses, 2 mini horses, 2 goats, and 3 cats.
I heard you're really good at naming animals. Yeah. What's the secret to naming an animal?
The dogs, I got lucky. Like, I named a bunch of them after country songs or singers. I had Jessie and Waylon and Delta Dawn, Bellamy, Cher, and she acts like a diva, so that was fitting. I also had 2 Pyrenees named Thelma and Louise.
Great Pyrenees?
Great Pyrenees,
oh,
yeah.
Best dogs.
They're the best dogs. And I don't know, my goats are named Taco and Tuesday. And one of my cats' name is Tequila, and he lives with them, so it kind of works.
So is it like objects? Objects makes for good dog names?
I think it's just like personality.
Okay,
you know?
you
gotta
really...
kind of know them. Yeah. Except Thelma and Louise were already that name, so I was like, well, and they're rescues. Everybody's a rescue, but I was like, you know, if their names are already Thelma and Louise, those are my dogs.
Before we get back to the video, a reminder that we're partnered with The Farmer's Dog and can give you 60% off your dog's first order through the link in the description. The Farmer's Dog makes fresh dog food, pre-portioned for your dog's specific needs and delivered right to your door. All their recipes are developed by board-certified nutritionists to be complete and balanced. Their mission is for dogs to live longer, and who doesn't want that? If you've been wanting to try The Farmer's Dog for your dog, or I just convinced you to, head to the link in our bio for 60% off. Thank you so much for all the support. Let's get back to Bellamy and Miranda. You've been in the music industry for a legendary 2 decades. How has your relationship with dogs kind of evolved throughout that time?
Man, you know, it's a very hectic and crazy business sometimes, and I feel like having a dog is just a constant, like a solid comfort constant. I've always had my dogs on the road.
They come on tour with you?
They do come on tour. Not all of them, because I had so many, but a select few that were kind of like road dogs. My Delta Dawn and him, the little ones, they thrive on the bus. They do really well. And it's just like having that little piece of home, you know?
Yeah.
It's like nothing like walking off the stage and walking on the bus and they're like, you're just their mom again. You're not Miranda Lambert, you're just their mom. And it's really special.
And it'd be too hard to leave them.
It is hard to leave.
Yeah.
It's hard to leave my animals. I do cry sometimes when I leave my farm. When I have to go on the road, I'm like, you know, because they're my babies, my four-legged babies.
You just released a new album, Postcards from Texas.
Yes.
Were there any dogs around you for the writing and recording process for that one?
Bellamy was in the whole recording process.
Really?
Because I have seniors, he just pretty much goes with me all the time because he's
Glued
still...
to you?
Yeah. And he was there for a lot of the writing, for the whole record. He was actually in the vocal booth with me the entire time. So, you know, it's like, I guess he is living up to his comfort retriever name. Yeah.
Did growing up in Texas expose you to a bunch of different animals?
Yeah, I grew up on a farm, also raised goats and rabbits, and we were in the country, so we had like stray dogs always like in the country, just like people would dump them or they would wander up. So I guess that was like the way we rescued back then. We just kept whoever came around, you know. So I've done it since I was a little girl. I mean, I was our first dog was named Cooter Brown, and he was a lab, and he slept under my crib. So like, I literally have had a dog in my life my whole life. Lucky me.
Yeah. We recently featured a horse that was surrounded by, it was like a miniature horse surrounded by dogs, so much that he thought he was a dog. His name was Jimmy.
I love that.
It was wonderful. Any stories like that?
I have too many horses, and well, I like my cat Tequila literally lives with my goats and thinks he's a goat. So
really?
Yeah, and they live among the horses. Everybody, it's kind of like old McDonald's farm. Like everybody gets along.
What personalities has your cat adopted that would make them more like a goat?
He literally like rams the goats' heads like he's a goat. Like it's funny. And you know, I've rescued so many dogs, fostered, picked up stray dogs. Like I kind of have this get in where you fit in, like better than where you were vibe. And I feel like that helps with all the animals. Like y'all live happily here together, figure it out. You know what I mean? And I've been lucky, like all my animals get along.
That's wonderful.
Especially the dogs, it's great.
The country music community seems to have a very special affinity for dogs. Why do you think that connection exists?
I don't know. I think it's like, I mean, there's dogs in all of our songs if you think about it, like forever. You know, I think it's because it's truth tellers, storytellers, and you know, especially the Nashville community is like very much about collaborations and companionship, and I feel like dogs just fit right in there.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned you work with a few shelters and rescues out here.
Yeah.
Which ones?
We work with Metro. They kind of take everything in, so I usually start there first.
Yeah.
If there's donations or something to post about, or I've taken friends there to adopt animals because they're, you know, they take everything. But I also love Nashville Humane, and I love Williamson County in Franklin. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're doing
great
the hard work.
Yeah.
You started Mut Nation, your nonprofit, 15 years ago with your mom.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, you know, when you get to like a place in your career where you have a platform, they actually do some good. It's like, what are you going to do with that voice? And I just have grown up with, you know, raising animals and kind of loving those that were unloved. And so I felt like I knew immediately that was my passion. And so Mut Nation Foundation was born, and it was just Mom and I had been volunteering at shelters in my hometown and had rescued all these dogs and animals over the years. It felt like, let's make it actually legit and a, you know, a nonprofit. And we started as a little mom and pop. Actually got a tattoo of the logo on my foot when we raised $500,000.
Wow.
Which was 2010. And since then we've raised over 10 million.
Oh my goodness.
So it's pretty amazing.
Congratulations.
I'm very proud of that.
Did a certain dog inspire that?
Yes, her name was Delila. She was my first like adult dog of my own, you know what I mean? Like when I was just
non-family
like
dog.
Right, that I took on the road with me, and she was from a shelter from the Humane Society of East Texas, and she inspired me so much. She kept me comfort on the road. She made records with me, and I think she was actually the face of the logo for a long time. She was an amazing little pup. So yeah, she definitely inspired it.
What is it like to start measuring success based on dogs saved instead of any other metric?
You know what? It's the most important thing to measure. I mean, I'm so thankful that country music has allowed me to step into this role and to have a voice for the voiceless. And I mean, it's just one of those things. It's such a heart thing, and it's really beautiful how the community comes together to lift up these little guys, you know.
How do you handle all of the complex emotion and heartbreak that can come with animal rescue work?
You know, it's a journey. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it's a love big, hurt big situation, but you kind of sign up for that. And I feel like, you know, getting over the hump of part of Mut Nation's whole goal is to teach people about Adopt Don't Shop and teach them that shelters aren't scary places, and that, you know, the more you give it a chance, that they'll find you. And we know that as dog people.
Yes.
But that's one of our big things is, like, I want to encourage people to volunteer at shelters, to go there if they're thinking of getting an animal. And even if you can't, like, you know, if you don't have room for a pet or that's not the time and you just want to do something, like an hour a week can change a dog's life. Just walking them, getting them, you know, used to humans, it increases their chances to get adopted by so much. And so, you know, there's working with shelters, natural disasters, being a dog mom, and have lost one every year for 6 years. It's hard, but it's worth it. The love is worth it. You got to take the risk and just go for it.
Yeah. I lost my senior German Shepherd at the end of last year. I adopted him when he was 10. His name was Doug. He also helped inspire our foundation.
I love that.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in the period of, like, when to get another dog, and wondering if you had any advice in terms of just dealing with that grief and getting back out there to help another dog.
It's hard, like, but I would say you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know.
Yeah.
And I really think, like, going to adoption drives or walking through the shelter, even if you're just volunteering to walk, they will find you. Your pet will find you if you're open. It always happens that way. In my case, a lot of them found me, so I might have overdone it a tinge, but we're okay.
Do you have a rescue story that stands out above the rest? One super special to you?
You know, they're all special because they're all different. I think one of my favorites, my Delta Dawn, my little puppy. She was like a Chihuahua Pug mix, I think. I don't know. But I was at Sonic getting a cherry limeade, and I had been seeing her around for like 3 days around kind of the area, and I was like, I went and asked the manager, I was like, is this anyone's dog? Like, this thing's just out here eating tots and, like, on her own, just like living on the street. And he was like, no, she's been here for like a week. And I opened my car door and she jumped in. And the next day we were on a plane to Vegas to go to the ACM Awards. And so she literally went from like the street to like the MGM Grand.
The Sonic parking
pup,
lot.
Yep. And she was like that heart dog, that one that like really is like your soul dog. So, you know, they, like I said earlier, they find you if you just have an open heart. So go to your local Sonic, people.
Which do you think you have more of? Adopted dogs over your career or music-related awards?
Oh man, probably dogs. I've been lucky in my career and I have won a lot of really cool things, but I think
it's a lot of dogs.
It's a lot of dogs. You're making me sound like a crazy dog lady. That's okay if the shoe fits.
So if you had to like get Bellamy's attention, do you have a specific dog voice that
Yeah,
you
and
use?
they each have their own, but his is like, oh boy dog, you come here, boy dog.
Oh, it's deeper.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's a boy.
Yeah,
I call him boy dog because he was the only boy dog in a whole sea of female dogs. So.
Sometimes with Doug, I would talk as if I was him, but I would give him
What's the tone?
like an accent.
Let me hear your
like,
best Doug voice.
Like, I can't.
You can't do it on command?
Not really. It's kind of, it's like has to.
It comes out.
Yeah. Like I don't even know I'm doing. It's totally unconscious. So I wish I could bring it up, but I don't.
Well, when you get your new Forever Friend, you'll
I'll
have
let
to
you
call
know.
me and be like,
yeah,
this
is
my
what
new
it
dog
is.
voice.
I found it.
I found my sound.
You're so cute.
There it is, see?
Oh, okay, well there it is. Okay, see, I didn't even know I did it. So why do you think we love dogs?
Oh man, how long do we have? It's a long list. I think the biggest reason is because of the unconditional love, of the no judgment, and just, you know, they love you for exactly who you are, and you don't have to be anything but just their companion. And it's like, it's a relief. Like we don't deserve dogs, but we're sure glad we get to have them in our life.
And when they look this cute, it's also very easy.
Yeah, and that's why we overdid it on our, everybody come on in, live with us forever.
That's great.
I don't think you can have too many rescue though. There's no such thing as too many rescues.
The limit does not exist.
Exactly.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
I would like to say thank you to all the people out there who foster, adopt, and raise awareness for shelter animals and for the voiceless. So I appreciate everybody fighting the good fight.
Thank you so much for doing this, Miranda.
Nice to
really
meet you.
appreciate it. Nice to meet you too. I'm gonna shake your paw.
Okay.